champions of Europe finally! History made in Istanbul! The treble complete! The greatest story in club history has ended! And what a final chapter!
Hello and welcome back to Typical City. Champions League football is back. I'm excited for this one, getting rid of those feelings, of those draws with Liverpool and Chelsea and Ryan. Ready for it. I can see you in the chat already as well. Already talking about shaking the draws off. Completely agree, mate. It's going to feel good tonight because they are there for the taking. If we can do it, as Sasha says in the chat as well, make it a convincing win, all is forgotten. Those draws, as frustrating as they feel, all will be forgotten, and we can start looking forward again at Manchester City in a positive light again. Stop feeling negative, albeit they're not negative, really. That's the standards we've set. It's unbelievable to think that that's now considered negative. Draw into Liverpool. Liverpool are bloody good. Chelsea, I mean, conceding the 4 was the issue, but we scored 4, you know. It's one of those anomaly games, one of those freak games. Now we can look back at that and with a little bit of disappointment because of the standards that we've set, which is a good thing in a way and a bad thing in another way. But we need to have sort of a reality check in between the two. And tonight is a good idea to get going again and get back to some winning ways. And we've done it before. 7 last season, I put past them. 3 put past them earlier on this season. They're there for the taking as well. They're riddled with injuries and they're out of form. They lost at the weekend 2-1 to Wolfsburg. They've lost 3 of their last 4 away games. Timo Werner, Dani Olmo, Willy Orban and Bitshiabu, all out. You know, I mean, we talk about missing Kevin De Bruyne. I was particularly talking about missing Kevin De Bruyne in the last stream. That's their Dani Olmo, and they're missing Dani Olmo. And I mean, Timo Werner didn't really set the Premier League on fire, did he? But still, he's a good player, you know, in particularly for them. Before he came to Chelsea, he was a threat. He was a horrible player to play against with his speed. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with that tonight. But good to see so many of you in the chat already as well. Douglas, I saw you in here nice and early, mate. Appreciate that. And appreciate dropping a like on the stream nice and early as well, mate. Really good of you. Danny W, prediction. What did I say? Did I give? I think 5-0 was my prediction in the preview. I'm feeling much more motivated today than I was in my preview, to be honest. My preview, I was feeling like still a bit gutted about the Liverpool result. And looking forward wasn't something I really wanted to do. I wanted to look back a little bit and just go over it and relive the Liverpool game and what really did go wrong and if anything did go wrong, as well as what went right, because there were some good things in that game. We played some good football. That first half was really good. It was really good. Second half was just a bit wasteful and just became a bit of a 50-50 game, and that's what's frustrating. And that's kind of been the echo throughout this whole season, to be honest. It's been brilliant for 45 minutes. Just like, there you go. That's the City we know. That's the City that just destroys teams at will. And then the second half was a bit more of a reflection of how the whole season's kind of gone from game to game. We've been a team of 2 halves or 60 minutes, and it's just little moments of lapses of concentration are really frustrating. Tonight's a good game to get that out of the system as well. I'll get onto the team news as well. I'm sure you've already seen it scrolling across the screen, but let's go over it anyway. Ortega, it's good to see him in net. I thought you'd go with Edison because he tends to go reasonably strong. And I'm not to say Ortega's not going strong because he's a very good keeper, but obviously Edison's the number 1. Walker, Akanji, Diaz are going to be the back 3. Walker, Diaz and Gvardiol are going to be the back 3, and Akanji and Rodri's going to sit in front of them. Rico Lewis, I'm going to go as an attacking midfielder. I think he'll play a bit more advanced up the pitch with Bernardo. Foden, who seems to have lost a bit of faith going centrally, hasn't he? Pep seems to have lost a bit of faith in him, tucking him inside. This is a perfect opportunity. In my preview, thought this is a good game. Right, go out, Foden. Get in the middle of the park and show us what you can do, because he sees himself as that. Phil sees himself as a number 10. He's probably in the same boat as Jack. Jack sees himself as a number 10, but both are being pushed out wide, and Pep's saying, nope, you don't play in the middle, my guys. Sorry, you've got to play out wide. And I think this was a perfect game. Perfect game for Phil Foden to play inside, but he doesn't trust him at the minute, so Phil needs to improve, because I don't think he was... I gave him a 5.5 in my player ratings after the Liverpool game. He was our worst performer, but I mean, it came out of nowhere. He was in reasonably decent form prior to that. Wasn't playing badly by any stretch of the imagination, just a couple of 7s out of 10 here and there, nothing to worry about. And then he dropped this performance that was just a little bit lacklustre against Liverpool. And we saw the how much the ball went down Doku's side and nowhere near Phil's side. Whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. But let's have a quick look at RB Leipzig's team, if I can find it, which doesn't contain too many surprises. You've got Blasvic, Simakan, Haidara, Forsberg, Seivold, Klosterman, Openda, Xavi Simons, Raum, Lukeba and Schlager, which I think I got 2 players wrong in my predicted starting 11 for them. The only issue is no Poulsen, who's a good player for them, but they did lose at the weekend to Wolfsburg. With him, he didn't even start the game, Poulsen, against Wolfsburg. So I was surprised to see that him not start the game today either. So he's in the manager's bad books. What's he called? Marco Rose. Good to see so many in the chat already as well. Cortez going 4-0. Who else we got? We got Jeff. Good to see you, Jeff. Hope you're all good, mate. Letty. We've got D-Harsh, Hot Hits, Pada, Wapang. Hope you're doing well, Wapang. Yeah, good to see you all. Hope you're all doing really well. My lad has just finished training and he played really well. I'm buzzing for him. I'm in a good mood because I've just watched my lad train and he played well. And I'm buzzing about that because, he can probably hear me, so I need to be mindful of what I say. But he's in the bottom half of the squad in terms of quality. But bless him, man. His attitude's spot on. He keeps trying. There are other kids messing about that are better than him and like have more ability than him right now because he only just started playing football. He's joined a really good football team, and those lads have been playing together for 3 years. Some of them, they started at 3. He's 6 now. He's only just started playing about 2 or 3 months ago properly. But seeing him like compete, you know what I mean? He was competing. It was good to see because the first couple of training sessions, he was just like going on around him. But seeing him today is buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing, and his attitude was great. So, yeah, nice one. Sanjeev, hi. Hope you're doing well. What's Jeff gone for? 3-0, Jeff. Jeff, have you got your prediction in for... that's what we're all here for, mate. That's what we're all here for. Everyone's crying out, where's bloody Jeff? Get Jeff on the chat. Where is he? Get him predictions in, Jeff. Come on. We're all waiting. Timmy in the chat as well. Yeah, he will, mate. He will. Absolutely. 6 as well. I don't want to put too much pressure onto him. That's why I never forced him into football so young. I know there are a lot of dads out there. It's like, right, there's a ball. I did give him a ball, in fairness. But it was just, I didn't show much interest in it until about 4 months ago where he saw me play a bit of football, and he also started watching it on the TV a little bit and wanted to kick it about. As we all do. We all grow at different rates, don't we? But... Hot Hits going for 2-2. I did, Jeff. I did see. It was that. Am I not Jeff? And I love Michael Scott, by the way. If you particularly chose him as you consider me a Michael Scott type of character off The Office, he is my hero, mate. I love Michael Scott, and I'm going to piss some of the English people off in the chat here. The American Office is better than the English Office. I'm telling you right now. The American Office is so much better. I love Ricky Gervais, but the American Office is so much better. So much better. Nunes Wapang, he's got a lot to do to prove himself so far, but he's not had that much chance to do it. You know what I mean? He's not really played that many minutes, and he's being injured right now. Clinically unfit, one of the medical staff described him as, which must mean he's just got a very bad injury or something's off. Oh, what are they wearing here? They're wearing a special kit, City. Wearing an old school retro kit, presumably in link with the 3 statues that I got erected. I don't think that you erect them there, do you? You build it somewhere else and then you plonk it there, don't you? I presume that's what they do. I doubt they brought a sculpting artist to sit outside the stadium for 2 or 3 days just chiseling away. But impressive statues they are. Good to see. Winding the United fans up as well with our 3 statues of legends, which apparently is a copycat because we copied their treble as well, apparently. Sub 2, hope you're doing well. Stephen Bennett, Wagwan, Little Jonny. They are good, Douglas, aren't they? They're really nice. It's good. we've got a couple of weird ones. Companies is like okay, isn't it? So like they really accentuate the head, don't they, in that statue, like proper like alien head. But yeah, no, they're all good. We're going to run out of space soon for statues, aren't we? We're going to have to start getting a bit more picky, going forward. I think everyone who's got one so far fully deserves one. But we started giving plaques out, didn't we, at the Etihad for players that have been playing so well. Yaya's got one, didn't he? Who else has got one at the training ground? Just a big, like, what do they call it? Like a monolith type thing, just with his name etched into it, which is pretty nice. Teams are out, which is good. Good to see. All listening to the Champions League anthem, boos echoing around the Etihad. Not as loud as it used to be anymore, to be honest. He did, Section 20. And he put it to good use, didn't he? That big noggin of his, smacking it into the back of United's goal quite a few times with it. Pretty useful head he's got. That was such a good moment, that was, wasn't it? That derby, the game before the Newcastle game, third to last game of the season. What a derby that was. The atmosphere at the Etihad then was ridiculous. Ridiculous. That was probably the most I've ever heard the atmosphere be as intense in a Manchester derby, and just so positive that night. Bringing Paul Scholes back from retirement, absolutely useless. Vincent Kompany made sure that day. Sanjeev, I think we should. I'd love for City to go for both, mate. I can't see City getting both. We're going to be looking at close to 200 million for them two combined, aren't we? Just two players there, in Wirtz and Musiala. I'm not sure who I'd prefer. I'd probably go for Musiala because he's... I don't know. It depends who you want him for. Musiala, for me, if we had to have only one of them, I'd go for Musiala just because he's got the experience of already playing with Bayern Munich and their standards and to make it into their team, whereas Wirtz could potentially still be a, when you're a big player in a not so, when you outshine the team that's around you, sometimes when you've got to move, you suddenly get to a new environment. Like Gvardiol leaving RB Leipzig, he was like like one of their best players, really, and then coming to City, he's probably looking around at the star-studded dressing room, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. Jack Grealish coming from Aston Villa to Manchester City, he's openly said that he felt that, like, oh God, look at all these players around. There's Kevin De Bruyne, look at that, Erling Haaland, look at all that. Like, do you know what I mean? So Wirtz coming to City might have that little bedding in period to get used to, whereas I don't think Musiala would fear anyone at City. But he's amazing, Wirtz, don't get me wrong. I'd take both. Game's about to get underway. I did watch KDB. Well, you call them dance moves. That was an absolute dad. That was like an uncle at a wedding, that, wasn't it? Those moves from Kevin De Bruyne. We only need a point tonight, just to remind you. A point will guarantee top spot. For those wondering what advantage... There we go, game is underway. Come on, Blues! For those wondering what the advantage of top spot actually means, you get the home leg home advantage at at the Etihad. Oh, long ball up to Haaland already, which has boded well for us. Bernardo Silva bursting into the area, clipped away. It worked well for us last season, didn't it? Those little details, can they add up? Little details like, does it really matter playing at home or away, second leg? I mean, yeah, I think it does. That home advantage worked so well for us against Real Madrid. It worked perfectly. And obviously we didn't have the choice. He has to go the other way around for the Bayern Munich game, and we dealt with that brilliantly. Just our home form, it's just sensational. Oh, Blasvich nearly got caught on the ball there. Yeah, I've got a stat for you here. It's August 2020. So you've got to go back over 3 years to find the last time City lost at the Etihad in the Champions League, which is unbelievable. So that people talk about the nights in lights at Anfield and things like that, under the lights at Anfield and famous nights at Old Trafford, and the bollocks, mate. The Etihad, that's the fortress now. You know, no one comes here and gets 3 points. Watch RB Leipzig win now, I've said that. Ruben Diaz with a big boom, clearing the ball up to Jack Grealish. Tries to bring it down. Want to see a performance from Jack tonight. I agreed with what Douglas put a very detailed comment in the preview, which I read and enjoyed. I like the take on Doku versus Grealish. Doesn't need to be that with City fans. It doesn't need to be a versus in between. It can be a Doku and Grealish, you know. We've got both. They play for City, you know. We don't need to compete them against one another. And it's just great news for City all round that these two players who have such differing qualities play for City, you know, and we now have more options. We have more firepower and different types of firepower. It's going to be good. Here's Jack Grealish. Speak of the devil, Gvardiol. Need to see another one from him as well. Another big performance from Gvardiol because he dropped against Chelsea. His standards weren't that great. Bernardo Silva pinned to the right wing. So Foden is playing centrally. Good. Good. He's being trusted. Right now, Bernardo Silva's on the right wing. So we're going Jack Grealish, Bernardo Silva. I did like that Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish link-up play we saw at Old Trafford, though. We've seen it more recently than that as well. Jack Grealish down the line to Phil Foden, who's at the byline. Dinks it, middle of the area. Coming to all the way to Bernardo Silva. Volley. Blocked. Cleared. Akanji volley. And it's well wide. It looked like a little, for a millisecond, I thought, oh, it's going in, that. Keeper looked like panicked. But then it went and nearly hit the corner flag, so I've got that horribly wrong. Scott, good to see you, mate. If you haven't already, if you could drop a like on the stream, that'd be hugely appreciated. Rodri's won it back in their half, bursting in. Foden. Grealish. Gvardiol. Kanji's playing really advanced. It's all City so far, totally dominating this game at the minute. Oh, Grealish's ball fed into Foden. Foden tried to leave it for Rodri through his legs, but it was intercepted. But it's back with Grealish. This looks good. We are passing beautiful stuff here. Really good. I fear for RB Leipzig tonight. I really do. Not too much, to be honest, but Elise is your dream right winger for City. I think I need to see another season of him to make my mind up about him. Because I think he blows hot and cold a little bit, but when he's hot, he's sizzling, isn't he? You know, sensational on his day. I just see him go quiet every now and again. Schlager's into Xavi Simons, edge of the area. Xavi Simons! Oh, bloody hell, RB Leipzig after me. Waxing lyrical. I know there's... who is it now? There's one of my subscribers always going on about Xavi Simons. She loves Xavi Simons and wants City to sign them. He's a good player, really good player. I wonder what the science is behind cutting them holes in the back of your socks. Like to release the muscles or something. I don't know what it is. I won't be surprised if they make that illegal soon. Because they're bringing in all sorts of mad shit now into the game, aren't they? You know, they're already talking about sin bins. What's your opinion on sin bins? Get your opinion on the future of football having a sin bin in it. You know what I mean? That's mad. Absolutely mad. And they're also thinking of changing VAR and introducing... getting involved in more things. Not less things, more things like corners, throw-ins. Like, do you know what I mean? Like how much influence VAR can have in the game. It's going the wrong way, that. In principle, I'm all for VAR. I like the idea of it, and I liked what the introduction, what the slogan was at the beginning was just clear and obvious, wasn't it? And then the most basic things, real big decisions. That's what it should be used for. Big, big decisions. Now we're going into tiny, tiny little details. It's getting too much. Jack Grealish bringing the ball forward. Phil Foden on the underlap. Grealish tucks inside and he's lost the ball. Simicam winning it back pretty easily there. Grealish needs to do a little bit better. Absolutely, Jeff. Simbin is stupid either way. Either they stay on the field or get sent off to Section 20. Yeah, I'm sort of like that. The issue is what they're targeting, though, with these sin bins. They're talking about dissent. And, you know, if you say certain words, there might be like certain buzzwords, like the C word, trying to not get copyrighted. I probably can say it, to be honest, but I'd rather... I've said it before in my life, don't worry, but yeah. Yeah, those types of words. The issue is, well, they're not all English. The players on the pitch are not all English. The referees are. We do not have, unless we're going to start getting bilingual referees and educating them on all the curse words in Spanish and French and every language you can think of. You know what I mean? What are we going to do? I know that's like, oh, you're puta, like that. If we hear that, and other words, I know what that means, puta, but do you know what I mean? The referee might not know that. And what is he going to do? He's going to red card the British player for saying, piss off, you twat. And then like, ah, you puta. And he's like, oh, what? Sorry, what? Do you know what I mean? Makes no sense. Xavi Simons is in here. We've been done down the left wing. Coming all the way in. Akanji gets back brilliantly. Brilliant. So strong. So strong. Brilliant Manuel Akanji. Not sure why Xavi Simons didn't do anything with it then, but really, Akanji was, coming in from defensive midfield as well, mind you. Kyle Walker committed there. Got done by a back heel down the left wing. Manuel Akanji, brilliant. So good. Brilliant defending. Love it. Xavi Simons should have done something with that ball then, though. I had the opportunity to cross it. Decided not to. Class, I'd like to see Bob as well. I just think I think you'll probably see Akanji getting caught on the ball there. Free kick, though, thankfully. Schlager closing him down. Yeah, I'd like to see Oscar Bob. I don't think tonight was going to be the night for him, though. I think he was going to go pretty strong with the top spot not secured. You know, I think Pep wants to have every little advantage that he can possibly get in the Champions League. This being the opportunity to take top spot. And I think we'll see Oscar Bob against Red Star, probably. I'll probably see him tonight, second half. Ruben Diaz, little sloppy ball to Gvardiol. We've had little opportunities, 2 little chances of Xavi Simons bursting through. Both coming down the left side with Xavi Simons. And, City have changed all of a sudden. We don't look quite as assured on the ball anymore. It's looked like, they can bite RB Leipzig. They've got a bit of bite. And it looks like they've shocked City a little bit into a bit of nervous football. Buggan's in the chat. Jacob as well. I haven't seen you already, mate. Good to see you. I'll try this, by the way. If you can get hold of it. Paradise Punch. Tango. Bloody delicious. RB Leipzig knocking it about at the back now. City looking in good shape, good pressing shape. Oh, Jack, that's it. You only tune in, Buggin, when if Jack Grealish starts, then I'll see you in the chat, will I? If Jack's not playing, you sit there like that, like he does with his celebration, like refusing to watch anything Manchester City without Jack Grealish. No, 100% Wapang, absolutely. Don't underestimate RB Leipzig. They did get to the semi-finals 2 years ago, didn't they? The point I made at the start of the stream was they're bang out of form. They're riddled with injuries. They're there for the taking. Do you know what I mean? They've lost 3 of their last 4 away games. We've already put 7 past them when they were in better form. So really now we should be thinking a convincing win. This should be a convincing win in my book. And by convincing, I'm talking 3-0, something like that. You know what I mean? That's what I think. We should be taking the game to them. In particular because of the Liverpool draw and the Chelsea draw that's just a killer. But you know what? They're knocking it about, RB Leipzig. They're in again. Coming down the left-hand side. Openda this time. Round with the overlap. Schlager. Back to Seivold. All the way over to Simakan, who's found his way forward, but a bad touch has given it back to Josko Gvardiol, who comes forward with it now. He keeps driving past the halfway line, tucks it inside to Foden. Back to Rico Lewis, City getting a bit more shape. RB Leipzig are all back now in their positions. Given away by Akanji there, right in the middle of the pitch. Back to Blasvich. It's a little bit sloppy all of a sudden. That first 5 minutes was so crisp. It looked like class, like really good. Last 5 minutes has not been so crisp. Akanji's misread it. Openda's in. He's in on goal. Openda scores. 1-0 RB Leipzig. Talk about sloppy. Talk about sloppy. Honestly, what are they doing? Manuel Akanji, after that brilliant bit of defending on Xavi Simons, is just committed. He holds his hands on his head and wonders what he's done there, to be honest, because that was shite, really. All of a sudden, we've just capitulated in the last 5 minutes. How many attacks have RB Leipzig threatened? Compared to that first 5 minutes, we were knocking it about like unbelievable. Do you know what? That finish was cool as you like, but Manuel Akanji, what is that defending there? So sloppy. What's he thinking here? You go goal side, Manuel, there. The ball, it's a long kick all the way up. It's a simple ball as a defender to deal with. It's one of those, if you can't win it, don't try to win it. Don't try to win it. Just position yourself in a spot, goal side of Openda in that situation. Instead, he comes in on his side. Openda uses his body, turns himself like that, and Akanji's just got to go smack straight into the back of Openda's back and uses his momentum to turn. And he doesn't even need to touch the ball. He just lets the ball run past him, Openda, and he's in on goal. So sloppy. As a defender, the first rule is get goal side, and if you're not sure, don't try and win it. Just keep your hand on the player, behind him, goal side of him, and then look after the position. Not the ball, the position. Keep him, make him turn around, make him so he can't face your goal. So basic, and Akanji knows he was looking at himself there. He doesn't need telling. Pep doesn't need to have a word with him at half time. No one needs to educate him. He knows exactly what he's done because he was hanging his head like that. He was just like, oh, like what have I done? He knows what he's done. So moving on. Grealish brought down, free kick City. Don't worry about it, JRX. We're winning this. We're winning this game. And I tell you what, if we lose this game, the headlines, don't even want to know. Honestly. Following the draw, then a loss, it's not good reading, is it? And it wouldn't be the first time either this season. You know, with that little mini run without Rodri, who I still have a problem with. You know, Rodri has fucked us, man. Like, with that stupid moment there, just think about the differences that could have been if we had Rodri in the pitch for those 3 games that we lost without him. Bernardo Silva, free kick. Ruben Diaz over the bar, mate. He's got to bury that. He knows as well. He's shaking his head. Similar to Manuel Akanji, except at the other end of the pitch this time. Should be scoring. Oh, it's right on his forehead. He's got... it's just over the bar, mind you. So it's not like a bad miss, but he's got to hit the target there, mate. He's got to hit the target. Blasvich giving it away nearly. Bernardo Silva closing him down. Oh, they're messing about with it, RB Leipzig. Still not cleared it. Now he's got it up. It just seems a bit worrying how, like, one long ball and they're in. Good to see you, Jan. And James as well. Yeah, let's not hold a grudge against Rodri. You know, there is something in my mind that is bugging me still. It really frustrates me, and he knows what he's done wrong, obviously, and it's costly. It's been so costly, that Rodri red card. Just in the Premier League alone, for example, that Wolves game, he's got to be offside. Flick on again. We are really high up the pitch, and RB Leipzig look like they can knock it up at any moment and cause us a problem because we're not winning that first ball. And if you don't win the first ball, you drop a little bit, you get one man behind the other defender, and you give yourself an opportunity to mop it up. If anything does break through, they're playing so high with the last man. Rico Lewis, good pocket of space into Erling Haaland. What a bad touch by Erling Haaland. It's a brilliant ball from Rico Lewis, and Haaland's now shaking his head at himself. What's up with him today? A little bit off. Brilliant from Rico Lewis, though. Found a nice little pocket of space, bursts it through, well onside. Erling Haaland onto his right foot, lets it run across, sort of underneath him a little bit, but onto his right foot. And when it hits that right foot, it just ricochets miles away from where he needs it to be. Jack Grealish with the corner, near post. It's going to be cleared. Blasvich, no one was in there, mate. Got another opportunity to cross it in, but it's pretty deep now. He's gone back to Kyle Walker. No, I can't stand Arsenal either. There's nothing random about that bugging, but I can't stand them either. I hate Liverpool much more. I think there's two sets of fans are very odd, aren't they? Liverpool and Arsenal. Arsenal sort of make me chuckle a little bit, but then I get annoyed with their incessant whining and stuff, like just a little bit entitled, aren't they? Liverpool are just like the funniest conspiracy theorists like in the world, like. They think the world hates them. And they're not that wrong, to be honest. But, yeah, they're an odd bunch, aren't they? I wonder what they have to say about us. What they say about us is we all used to be Chelsea fans. That's what they say about us. Or we don't even exist. That's what they say about us. We're not here. And it's just like put like some toilet paper around my head and put some sunglasses on and be the invisible man. Bloody hell, Bernardo Silva giving it away now. What are they doing here? No, there's nothing worse than United fans. I can testify to that. The missus is in the next room. She'll kill me. No, they're all right. Some of the United fans are all right. I know a lot of United fans, as I'm sure most City fans know a lot of United fans, but they're not all a bad bunch. No, neither are Arsenal or all Liverpool, to be fair. I've met nice Liverpool fans and nice Arsenal fans. We had one in the chat, didn't we? A regular. I'm not sure he's here tonight. Eric Welch, wasn't it? That was his name. He was a big Arsenal fan. A regular popped up. See what I mean? He was a nice guy. Really nice guy. Because we are fans of the Invisible Man. We're not really here. Right. Enough sing-songs now. Let's get back down to business. Because this needs winning, this game. Not even for the group, because we're through. And I'm not that bothered about going through top. I'm talking about form now and momentum and just setting a tone for the rest of the season. This isn't good. Somewhere in the 40th minute area, Jeff's gone for. Not too specific there, Jeff. That's very, very precise there. Rico Lewis, first goal he's gone for. That's it. Ada, good to see you, Ada. Hope you're doing well. Not that well, I presume, considering you've just found out we're 1-0 down. Bit shit, to be honest. Long ball to Haaland. Is he going to get on the end of it? He is. He used his strength, Luke. And he's gone for the early shot. It wasn't on there, really. Shot on target, but it bounced about 3 times before it reached Blasvich. Couldn't get the power behind it. Jeff's asking if anyone remembers when he used to be good at predictions. Mate, you did like 3 in a row at the start of the season. It'll never be forgotten. It's gone down in the typical City Hall of Fame. And you're the only one in there, mate. I'm not even in there. It's just you. On a little, what are they called? Pedestal. With the name Jeff Spruntz on a piece of paper. That's it. I can remember them. What were they? You predicted Cole Palmer to come on. In the Community Shield in the second half against Arsenal and score, and he did exactly that. And I can't remember all of them though. What was the other one? Did you have Doku in one? Doku against West Ham. That was one. I remember that. You said Doku to score in the first 5 minutes of the second half, didn't you? That was insane. Just those two alone. I'm sure there was a third one that was pretty close as well. Long ball over the top. Ortega picks it up. I know what you're saying, Cortez. At face value, tonight's game isn't that important in just as a game, as a standalone game. But I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things, in the whole course of the season, following on from Chelsea and Liverpool. Tonight needs to be a convincing win, I think. A decent win. A win where I can go away. That was good. That was good. I enjoyed watching that. It was good to see City back to somewhat near their best and playing good football. I think that's important. I think this team is all about momentum. Just think about how many winning runs we've gone on in the last 3 or 4 years, in particular in the second half of the season. So hopefully that can happen again. But we can't just... Lovely ball. 1-2. 1-2 with Rodri and Jack Grealish. The 2 wasn't met as part of the 1-2, but good effort. We can't keep relying on that idea that, don't worry, City in the second half of the season, we're definitely going to go on a 15-game winning streak. We can't rely on that. It would be better if we played well all season. Do you know what I mean? But I still believe we can do that. Of course we can. I've got good evidence to suggest that we can, going off the last 3 or 4 years. But I mean, I'd like to do it now. Like, do you remember the Centurion season? I wouldn't mind one of them again. You're not 100 points. I'm just meaning a season where we just canter to the Premier League title and just win it with ease. I don't want a title race. Everyone else wants a title race. I don't want a title race. I want City to win it immediately, as soon as possible. I don't care about the neutral, man. I do not care. Spent too much of my years like watching United win it year after year. Now it's our turn. But it will be an unbelievable season if it carries on like that. Even the Spurs, they'll be back in it. Everyone will... Akanji, mate. Giving it away. Got away with that. Poor touch. Lands fortunately to Rodri. The ball's worked out to Jack Grealish. He's seen a lot of the ball. He's done well there. Good strength from Simakan, but Jack Grealish shows he's not exactly weak himself. Bloody hell. Referee says play on. Jack's just been wiped out by 2 people there. What's that, ref? I tell you what, they don't like Jack Grealish. Whenever Jack Grealish goes away or plays in the Champions League at all, he's targeted, isn't he? He's not a fan favourite when it comes to the opposition. Atletico Madrid with what's his face? Savic. I'm not sure it was a foul, but there was a nasty collision at the end. It was a bit of a coming together after Grealish fell down, and he's got a knee right into the temple there. That's not a good one. He stayed down as well here. Newcastle 1 up, are they, Ryan? No way. I tell you what, I'm not looking forward to going St James's Park in the Premier League. I wasn't that impressed by them when we got knocked out of the League Cup, to be honest. They just had that 15 minutes of the second half, didn't they, Newcastle? First half, it was all City. We dominated that game with our B team, and it was sort of their B team. They did rotate a few players, but not compared to us. It was basically a whole fresh new 11, wasn't it, when we faced Newcastle in the League Cup. And then in that 15 minutes of the second half, they came out and blitzed us, didn't they? Isaac got his goal. What a goal that was as well. Nice, tidy little finish, I remember it. But then after that, it just became a bit of a damp squib, didn't it? We needed to get knocked out of that, really, to be honest. Considering the Club World Cup, it would be pretty much impossible for us to take part in both competitions and have a fully fit, our best available squad in both tournaments. Not possible. So it kind of needed writing off. Doku's warming up. Jack Grealish isn't feeling too clever. That's shit for Jack. It's shit for me as well because Buggen's going to leave now. Isaac scored for Newcastle. What the shit are we playing? Asks D Harsh. It's really not been great, has it? I mean, to be honest, there was a good 5 minutes at the start. 5 minutes at the start was decent. And then they just sprung an attack. RB Leipzig out of nothing, and it seemed to have scared us. It seemed to have knocked our spirits. That, oh shit, they're here to play. And ever since, it's been really sloppy from City. And RB Leipzig haven't been brilliant, to be honest. It's not like they're posing that much of a threat. And it's only through our own errors that we're 1-0 down here. Bernardo Silva getting caught on the ball there. They're breaking on us again. Gone out for a throw in here. He's had not a great game, Bernardo Silva, to be honest. A couple of times already he's been caught in the middle. So we're not really playing with a right winger at the minute. Because I'm looking right now, and we've got 3 number 10s. Foden's fed it into Haaland, and his poor touch. It's not that poor a touch. Just couldn't bring it into his path. RB Leipzig bringing it forward. Apenda's received it. Looking for a 1-2 with Xavi Simons, but Akanji wins it well. Gvardiol tries to knock it round the corner to Grealish, but gone out for a throw-in. He's come to watch proper treble winners, Treble winners that go and win the Super Cup. Treble winners that are already the Premier League champions. Rico Lewis is in the box. Oh, he smashed it over the bar with a brilliant bit of footwork, though, from Rico Lewis. Fed in really well by Ruben Diaz. His first touch got just enough on it to get it back into his path. As he turned round, there was a little pocket of space right in the middle of the area. It looked like he was going to take it on his next touch, but he pushes it past. Who is that? I can't tell you who that is. But then he drills it from about the penalty spot well over the bar. Oh, Blasvich had given it away and Bernardo Silva didn't seem ready. How many times have we been given the ball by goalkeepers? We need to be on our toes. Foden by Alisson. Do you know what? It's not like Bernardo Silva wasn't on his toes there. He was trying to win it back. But how many times have we been given the ball by a goalkeeper lately and not done anything with it? You know what I mean? We should be punishing them. Alisson giving it to Foden the other day. Just then, Blasvich gave it straight to Bernardo Silva in the penalty area, and his touch just wasn't good enough, and he was stretching for it, in fairness to him. But it goes out for a goal kick. Addy, I'm not sure we're going to win the treble anytime soon, mate, in all honesty. Not to try and... doing it 2 seasons in a row. I can't see it, mate. I can't see it. I wonder what the odds are, to be honest. I bet they're still decent. Long ball all the way down the middle, and Grealish has brought it under his spell. He's got Rico Lewis overlapping. He's found Haaland instead, though, still outside the area, and Haaland's fed it to Phil Foden just on the edge of the area. And he twisted and turning, and he couldn't find anyone to give it to Foden. Oh, and Rodri's giving it away to Bernardo, trying to find Bernardo Silva. Simple ball across the pitch, and he's got to be offside. Openda's well offside there. Rodri there, mate. Sloppy. Tottenham up. We've seen Diaz give it away. We've seen Gvardiol give it away. Akanji with his error that led to the goal. Rodri just now giving it away. Bernardo Silva's been caught on the ball 2 or 3 times. Haaland's first touch had an opportunity to make it a goal. There's six players there, all having problems on tonight. 31 minutes into the game. I'm not trying to make it all shit, but I'm going to say it how it is. This is sloppy at the minute. From all of them. Everyone I've just named, I'm not sure anyone's excused from that. And there, add Jack Grealish to the list. Jack Grealish just giving it away. Brilliant from Ruben Diaz, that. Brilliant defending. Ball was breaking there with Lewis Openda, who's not slow. He's genuinely a threat on the counter-attack. Can hear the City fans in my ear now getting a bit frustrated. Come on, City! What do you make of Pep's comments about the crowd? It sounds a bit quiet tonight, to be honest. Xavi Simons went down like a sack of shit then. Rodri just like put his fingernail on him and Xavi Simons fell over. I think the Etihad on its day is a ridiculous atmosphere. It's so good on its day. Oh, Ruben Diaz has flown in to a tackle. Lewis Openda's in on goal from the halfway line. He's beaten Gvardiol. He's tucked it into the bottom corner and it's 2-0. RB Leipzig. Ruben Diaz. What are we doing? What are we doing, Manchester City, right now? Because these are too many errors. Our two centre-backs have just calamitous errors in Akanji committing to a ball he could never win. Ruben Diaz to a ball that he could never win. This is schoolboy shit I'm watching now. This is fucking... I've just told you about my 6-year-old lad who's just come back from training. He was doing better than this. Honestly. That's shite. What's he doing there, Ruben Diaz? No, you're not going to win it. Leave it. Just keep your body in his way. Instead of committing to him as the last man on the halfway line. Gvardiol got himself across the run of Lewis Openda. Didn't take much to beat Gvardiol, to be honest, either. That was not great either from Gvardiol, really. Very simple. It was obvious he was going to tuck back onto his right foot. He's got to force him wide there. Shite. I still feel we'll turn this round. You know, I still feel we'll win this. Haaland's fed Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish onto his right foot in the penalty area. Rico Lewis on the edge. Haaland smashes it over the bar. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Doesn't look like we're on fire tonight at all. We're having a mare. That was a stinker of a finish from Erling Haaland. The ricochets very kindly to him, roughly about the penalty spot. And I mean, it's about 10 yards over the bar. On his left foot, side foot. And I mean, yeah, it's like 3 points to Wigan. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Could be another 7-0, says Tuna, to RB Leipzig. Fuck that. This isn't good. This is an issue. This is after this is team meeting Wednesday morning. If the game carries on in this manner and it's a defeat in this manner, it's team meeting tomorrow morning with Pep, all the players. We need to address it. Clear the air. Speak your minds. Need one of those moments, because I know City and the staff, they do that every now and again during the season. There was a season about 3 or 4 years ago when Pep was talking, I think it was after a draw with West Brom, and he said he didn't recognise his team, and he pulled them in for a meeting after their form was so like laboured, and it was like 5 or 6 games of like clear issues with form and just like belief and issues, and talking about it seemed to fix everything. It's a free kick to City. Jack Grealish whips it in. Headed by Ruben Diaz. Gone out for a goal kick. But yeah, that's the thing, sub 2. I've got a feeling the second half will be a madness. 5 goals or something. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is that papering over the cracks, though? What did I say at the start of the stream? At how we are a team of two halves at the minute, and we saw it against Liverpool. We may see it tonight. I hope we do, because now we need that second half, don't we? But we've proven my point again. We're 36 minutes into a game and we're 2-0 down. You do this against Spurs, we're losing. You can't play like this against anybody, really. You can't accept it. The thing is, against Chelsea and Liverpool, this stands out so much more as performances. I was buzzing if the first 5 minutes. They were passing. I can't believe that first 5 minutes. How well City were passing it around, and they looked crisp. And I had every belief that City, that's the City I recognised. They were pinging it around. And then it's just fallen apart, and mistakes have really crept into our game. And it isn't a case of tactics aren't right, or I don't think there's a lack of effort from City either, because they're working the socks off. I don't think they care. It's not like they don't care. Look, Jack Grealish there closing down. Really good. Gvardiol closing down. They were doing that before. It's just mistakes. And it's just a bit of concentration, or maybe a little bit of belief. Nerves. I don't know what it is. You don't turn into a bad player overnight, and you're entitled to a bad day at the office. You know, when we have a player that makes a mistake, like let's say Manuel Akanji's mistake was the mistake of the game. You write it off and go, oh, well, the guy rarely makes mistakes, Manuel Akanji. Let's put that down as a bit of a clanger. But I've named about 7 or 8 City players that have all made numerous mistakes. And the second goal just came from our other 2 centre-backs. Mainly Diaz, to be fair, that put Gvardiol in that position. But still, Gvardiol could have done so much more. Handball there, referee. Raum, as the ball was going out for a throw-in, Raum stuck his hand in the air to stop it, but I think the ball had already gone out for a throw. I know what you're saying, Wapang, but it's not like they've been brilliant. RB Leipzig haven't been good. Look at that. Rodri's just booted it out for a throw-in. And he hangs his head he just does that. Pep's looking at the ground, doing that with his finger, just looking at the ground, just wondering. Rodri's gesturing at the City players why aren't you doing this? Just shrugging his shoulders. Right, you get him in at half-time. This is an issue. When body language starts appearing like that, I hate it. I hate seeing body language like that. Do you know what I mean? That's the second that United have an opportunity to sell Bruno Fernandes, I'd get him out. I think he's a bad egg, Bruno Fernandes, because of that type of shit. It breeds toxicity in a football team. And I mean, I'm sure some of you have played the game before, but there's always that one knobhead on the pitch, and if you can keep him reasonably quiet on your team, the gobbo, the loudmouth, you know, you don't want the bad, negative vibes in a football team, like criticising. Bruno Fernandes is one of them. We've just seen Rodri do it. I don't like it. He made the mistake. Who's he blaming? He booted it out for a throw-in. He's gesturing at City players after he's booted it out for a throw-in. Rodri's giving it away again. Honestly, what am I watching? What am I watching here? And he's gone chasing the goalkeeper because he's so annoyed. The ball ended up working its way to Blažević, and instead of being cool and calm, Rodri sitting in defensive midfield, he just sprints out of position and starts chasing the goalkeeper. Cool your head, mate. What's up with him? Looks like he's lost his rag tonight, Rodri. Yeah, the Craig Bellamy effect. He's brilliant, isn't he? Craig, exactly. They're brilliant, these types of players. You know, the loudmouth. They're amazing when you're winning. You know, it's fine when they're winning and they're all happy and Larry. But the second that you start losing, there's no positivity coming from them. Yeah, Craig Bellamy's a big whinger, wasn't he? I loved him though. I thought he was brilliant. That goal at Old Trafford in the. Arguably, a City fan's problem. Rodri, what are you doing? Fucking hell, Rodri, mate. Absolute shite. Like, just there, he receives the ball and it takes 40,000 people to shout man on for you to realise. Jesus Christ. And now he's gone down injured. He's gone down injured from his own stupidity, taking too long to bloody kick it. How much time did he think he had there? Fuck's sake, man. And he looks like he's in big trouble here, Rodri. He's not walking properly. It was Raum getting back. If anything, I was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. He didn't foul Rodri or anything. Rodri's just ended up kicking the back of Raum's foot because Raum got his foot in the way and nicked the ball in front of him. If Raum went down, it would have been a free kick to RB Leipzig in a very dangerous area. He's not right, Rodri. Pep's got the notepad out. He's got his pen and paper out with a little foot. I can see a little football pitch on it. 100% sub 2. And it might be happening now. Nope. Haaland's touch puts it back into the path of Klosterman. It's a good name. I made him sound like a superhero then, didn't I? It's Klosterman. It's Klosterman. It can't not sound like a superhero. Once you hear it, don't you? You can't get rid of it. You can't unhear it. And he's holding his knee sub 2, isn't he? You're hoping. He's moving around now, Rodri, though. He looks all right. I think he was holding his knee out of embarrassment, to be honest, from how sloppy he's been. Like, let's get an injury and make it look like I'm struggling a bit. I think he was embarrassed because he's moving around no problem now, Rodri. Seems okay. Which is good, because I'm not going to be okay with the idea of losing Rodri for any more period of time throughout this season, because we need him. And I was saying it earlier in the stream, just the importance of him in those 3 games has been so big. Rodri, mate, his pass has caused a problem again. His pass was never on to Manuel Akanji. He telegraphed it. He looked up and said, Manuel, do you want the ball? Do you want the ball? Okay, I'll pass it to you. And by the time, it was that obvious. It was that obvious. And obviously the Raum comes flying out, intercepts it, just misses it, and because he missed it, Akanji had to leave it, and then Akanji's then chasing the next one and has to give away a free kick. All from that terrible ball from Rodri. What is he doing? I've never seen him like this. This is back to like that first season when we first signed Rodri. He was always a bit nervous. He's headed it back. He's done it. He's headed it back to Openda. He's gone out for a corner. I mean, Manuel Akanji has just gone up to Rodri there and patted him on the back like, come on, mate. You know. Rodri, and then Ortega's patting him. They're all patting Rodri on the back. They're all patting Rodri. They're like, come on, mate, what's up? All the City players are like, what's up, mate? Are you all right? Keep going, I think they're saying. Keep going. But he's looking like he's feeling sorry for himself. Corner whipped in. Nodded away by Josko Gvardiol. Another corner coming in. Roy, 0 creativity. I mean, we've had a little bit. We've had that. Rico Lewis has been our best player so far. Raum's kicking off on the ball boy for some reason. Shithouse. Big man kicking off on what looks to be about a 14-year-old boy. Aren't you big and clever? Whips it in. Haaland near post. Slices his clearance out for another corner. Mustafa, good to see you. Hope you're good. Short corner from RB Leipzig. It's been outnumbered as well. Schlager's going to whip it in. Cleared by Gvardiol. Going out for another corner by the looks of it. Xavi Simons gets underneath it. Phil Foden Lets it run out for another corner. Jesus, 4 minutes of added time. Get a minute at half time because 3-0 is not good. Ruben Diaz clears. Nodded back in. They're all offside. Haaland's nodded it back down. Walker boots it up into the air. Offside. I don't know. I don't think you take Rodri off, do you? Or do you? I don't think that's the right thing to do in terms of man management. In terms of like, how's that going to make him feel? You know, like, I don't think Pep would do that. Pep would speak to him. I don't think it needs to come off though, just because he's having a bad game like that. I think not at half time anyway. Maybe if he first 15 minutes of the second half and he's doing it again, then you take him off. I know it's mad that we never consider personal lives, do we? We never consider personal lives. Foden's whipping it in. Haaland's back post and nodded it. Oh, Blasvich straight into his arms. Good move though from City. Foden's ball swooping cross all the way to the back post. Haaland's leaping header, but he nods it down to the ground, but into the hands of Blasvich. Rodri's in the middle of the pitch with the ball. He gives it to Gvardiol. Back to Rodri. Rodri into Bernardo. Haaland's in. Onto his right foot, though. He's tucked it back. Phil Foden's swing and a miss. Bernardo Silva underneath it, and it's cleared. It's bobbling, and here come RB Leipzig. Ruben Diaz has committed a foul there. Big one. That's got to be a yellow, isn't it, really? It's going to be a yellow. Saying I didn't touch him, Ruben Diaz. He's having a mare. They're all having mares. Rico Lewis. I don't think Foden's been bad. Foden's been all right. Rico Lewis has been all right. Bernardo Silva's been okay. A couple of times he's been caught on the ball. But he's working his socks off as he always does. We need him for Spurs, to be honest. Surprised he's playing in this game. Cross whipped in. Diaz cleared it, but it's gone to Xavi Simons. All right, get him in at half time. Get him in at half time because this is disastrous. Jesus, what have I just witnessed here? Come on, blow your bloody whistle. Half time, Jesus Christ. Am I seeing things here? Like, I feel like I'm being really, really negative, but like, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Please tell me if I'm being miserable bastard here. But like, that felt one of the worst halves of football from City I've seen in a long time. And I'm talking not just like, it wasn't even disjointed because it didn't get the chance to be disjointed. It was just one error after another. Consistently, every player was just making mistake after mistake. I can't single anyone out for being like so poor, and everyone else was just let down by this one individual. Just need to sort the clock out. What's the clock doing here? Bear with me. Playing silly buggers. I seem to have I must have 9 seconds on the clock for some reason. I don't know why. There we go. Anyway, that wasn't great, was it? I mean, our midfield is not solid anymore. We miss Gundo. Mate, that feels quite true. I really didn't want to say it this season. I mean, we can't write Kovacic and Nunes off yet. We absolutely cannot do that. We're not even at Christmas yet. Do you know what I mean? They've just joined Manchester City, and if that part of the pitch deserves time, they deserve the opportunity to find their feet at Manchester City. We give so many players that, I wouldn't call it a luxury, but that understanding that Pep's style of football isn't the easiest to get used to. And I think that needs to be applied to Kovacic and Núñez. I think those two players are in the exact same boat, so we have to give them time. Will either of them reach the standards that İlkay Gündoğan achieved? I can't see it, to be honest, which is the problem. But, you know, I don't think Gündoğan, when we first signed him, I thought, oh yeah, an amazing player. I knew what he was capable of at Dortmund. I was excited by him. Well, I remember when we first signed Gündoğan, the issue was the injuries, wasn't it? Because he was coming from Dortmund, where he was always injured all the time, but such a hot prospect and such a quality midfielder. And it was just a case of getting him at City. And he had 10 games or so at City. Then he got a big injury, just like we feared he would. But the price tag was so reasonable that it didn't really bother many City fans. And then the medical team at Manchester City worked their magic on him. And then he was very rarely injured for about 3 years. Like little ones here and there, but nothing major from Gündoğan, which was good. And I never would have predicted when we first signed him that he would achieve what he did. He would be as important. I never thought the goals is the main thing that he achieved at Manchester City. The important goals as well, and the number of them as well. Not just the importance of them, the number of them from midfield. You know, like Lampard standard. That level of latecomer, arriving late in the box and just finishing it off. You know, right place, right time. Gündoğan was the man. You know what I mean? He really was at that. So good. I can't see Kovacic ever doing that. Núñez is more likely to do that because I think he's a better offensive player than Kovacic. I think Kovacic is an all-rounder. Núñez, I haven't seen much of him defensively to suggest he could sit alongside Rodri, and I'd be happy about that. I think he's more of a number 8, more of a Bernardo Silva, more of even a number 10, potentially, Núñez. But then why are we going for Paquetá? I don't understand where he's going to play in all of this. And it's going to be interesting to see because it sounds like we really are keen on him. And how we replace Bernardo Silva is a debate for another day because we're struggling right now. And he's playing for us, Bernardo Silva, and we're struggling to deal with the idea of no İlkay Gündoğan. And it's tough. It's a tough one to take. And I didn't think we'd struggle as much as we are struggling because I had every faith that City would rectify the loss of Mahrez and Gündoğan in particular. Those two players in particular have been huge for City over the last 3 years. And there's no reason to say that we won't see Doku surpassing Mahrez. Doku's a kid. So there's every reason to think Doku could become even better than Mahrez was as a hero of Manchester City. Kovacic and Núñez, though, they don't fill me with confidence as much, but certainly still believe in them, you know. But yeah, no, it's frustrating. I mean, what do you do? What do you do in this game? What do you do to turn it round? I think it's just a case of talking to them. Calm down, guys. Enjoy your football again. Go out there and smile. I was saying it before. I was about to get onto the subject matter of personal lives and stuff. We don't think about it, do we, as football fans? And I think it tends to be the younger generation. I'm not considering myself an old fogey just yet. I'm 35, but in the last 5 years, I've really noticed like how much better I am as a person when the rest of my life is okay. Do you know what I mean? When I can focus on here, when I come on here, for example, or if I do what used to be my other job, working from a business, I was the best version of myself when everything else was okay. Like family life was good, and my health was reasonable, and then my health was reasonable, so therefore my mental health was reasonable. Do you know what I mean? Like we saw John Stones have that issue with his missus like 2 years ago, and he was even really struggled, didn't he, John Stones, for a period? And I have every belief that was a huge factor in that. And he was on his way out of the club. John Stones was going to be sold, and then there was all the rumours came out about him moving out with his missus and like, real complications in family life. And then all of a sudden he's turned it around like 6 months later, and he probably established some happy balance in his working life and his normal life. And we don't think of that as fans, do we? We don't think... And I'm not saying... I don't know what's going on with Rodri, to be honest, but it's like something pissed him off the field. The way he's played tonight is as if, like, his head's elsewhere. It looks like that. And I'm pure speculation. This is complete speculation. This is not any facts on this whatsoever. Just, he's playing like that. Do you know what I mean? He's playing like he's not with it. Which is frustrating. But, I mean, one conversation from Pep. Having met Pep, I know what a conversation with Pep can do to you. I remember I was on top of the world for about 3 years after meeting Pep. One little conversation with him talking about who's the best player coming out of City. And this was like 5 years ago. And obviously, like, Foden wasn't that big at that point at City. He said, I guarantee you Foden's going to be amazing. He went on and on about Phil Foden. We talked about Phil Foden. But yeah, just that conversation, and I remember he just makes you feel good. Pep does. He seems like a really nice guy. So hopefully Pep can do it again with Rodri. Have a nice little chat with him, cheer him up, mate, because he doesn't look happy. His head's down. But looking at the City chances, Ruben Diaz had that opportunity from a free kick as well. Put that over the bar. Haaland's first touch when he was fed by Rico Lewis, a better touch there, and he's in on goal. Rico Lewis smashed one over the bar. Haaland then smashed one over the bar. So we've had 4 clear opportunities. And then there's this header I'm seeing now, and just going through the highlights. So I know what you're saying. I can't remember who it was who said zero creativity, but we have had chances. You know, we should have at least got 1 goal in this game, going off the number of chances and the quality of the chances as well. Same against Liverpool. We were wasteful against Liverpool. But you start wasting chances, you start putting pressure on your defence, because it's like, right, we've got to make sure we don't concede today, because it looks like we're only scoring 1. Do you know what I mean? Because our forward lads are not scoring for us, so the pressure's more on the defence, and when the pressure piles onto the defence, you start making mistakes like we're seeing tonight. Silly things from Ruben Diaz and Akanji and Gvardiol. All 3 of them have done major errors today. Gvardiol's not really a major error, it's just a bit of very casual defending. Ruben Diaz and Akanji, they were proper errors, like mistakes. And you're wondering if it's just a combination of just feeling a little bit of pressure right now, maybe. A City just feeling a bit nervous. Is it hangover from the treble? Hard to achieve those standards year on, year on. It's hard to say. But tell you what, the FIFA Club World Cup could be a welcome distraction by the time it comes round. Get away from the Premier League and the Champions League. Go and batter someone and win a trophy. You know? Do that in Christmas. Come back. Hey, that felt good. Go and do it again. Let's get a Premier League under our belt this time, or an FA Cup, or a Champions League, something like that. You know, it could be a welcome distraction. No one answered me in the chat, by the way, as well, with regard, and I could have Googled it myself. I rely on you now to give all my information as the chat. I don't use Google anymore. You are my source of knowledge. But the question was, has anyone won the Premier League and the Club World Cup in the same year? If you can Google that for me. That'll be a help. Cheers. Ego, at the moment, they won't win anything. Well, I think we've played... I remember the last season, Southampton, when we got knocked out of the League Cup. Was it the quarters against Southampton? 2-0. Was it 2-0? Pretty sure it was 2-0 to Southampton. And I mean, we were lucky it wasn't 3 or 4. They battered us in that game. We got destroyed. We were so poor. We lost to Copenhagen. Don't forget that. Poor game against Copenhagen last season as well. So we've had some stinkers at this stage of the season. Putting things into real perspective with all this doom and gloom talk. We're top of the group still, I believe. I think we are on goal difference at least. We're second in the Premier League by a point. We've got the FA Cup to play. We're through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. We're in a reasonably strong position. And, you know, we need to stay in this position after the Club World Cup. If we can get back after the Club World Cup and we're within 3 or 4 points of top spot in the Premier League, we're in a comfortable spot knowing that the Champions League knockout stages are waiting for us. And we've got a home leg advantage. That would be nice in the second leg. And then I think we'll start to grind out more higher quality of performances and turn good results and combine that with good performances as well. Because I remember the years when Pep first joined, it was a season of terrible results but good performances. Some of the stuff that they played in that second half of the season, in Pep's first season at Manchester City, and you could see it starting coming together at the end of the season when Pep first joined. And we won nothing, but it was like all coming together in a case of performances were being outshone by the poor results. And Claudio Bravo had a big part in that. The number of times we'd concede one shot and we'd lose 1-0 because he can't save anything. But I remember the last game of the season as well, when Pep first joined. Pretty sure it was Watford away, 5-0. And that set the tone for next season when we went and won the league. That set that tone, that did. It felt like something. That was an end of season statement, getting ready for next season. But, yeah, this doesn't feel good, this result. What I'm watching this half does not feel good to watch City in that first 45 minutes. But Spurs as well, they're going to be fresh, aren't they? No Champions League football for them to worry about. Spurs with a few injuries and suspensions that are key. I mean, what are your predictions for Spurs now, looking at this? I'm sure most of you don't feel very confident going into that Spurs game. John's in the chat talking about 115. Prove it, John. Prove it, mate. Good to see you, Hannah. Paul Duncan as well. Hope you're well. Aju, appreciate the super chat, mate. Thank you very much. That's good of you. Do we rely on certain players to play our style? That's an interesting topic that I think will be discussed more at the end of the season when we get a better understanding of why he targeted so many ball carriers, Pep Guardiola, in the summer. Signing Jeremy Doku, for example. Players are out. But yeah, signing Jeremy Doku, for example, he's not really a Pep-style player, is he? Or going off the previous 2 seasons, he's not. But Pep's style seems to be malleable. You can change it, you know what I mean? Just waiting for the kickoff to start. Xavi Simons standing above it. That's it, sub 2. And we're off. Second half comeback on the cards. Just hoping it's just crisp. I want to see a good performance, you know, and they're in. RB Leipzig were nearly in straight away. I mean, if you don't laugh, you have to cry. So I'd rather not do a cry on a stream. Let's keep it light and friendly. Adney, appreciate the super chat. Second half, let's go. It's really good of you, Adney. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you. I hope I've pronounced your name right. And that's your first ever super chat as well. Thank you. Rodri, out to Manuel Akanji. Rodri's pass was okay. Kyle Walker got it. Bernardo Silva now bringing it forward. I think RB Leipzig, I mean, talk about giving them something to hang on to. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to chill now, aren't they? This is going to be a one-way affair. Maybe hit us on the counter-attack. Phil Foden into Bernardo Silva. Oh, it was fired into him by Phil Foden. Tough for him to get it under control, but he nearly did. But away come RB Leipzig.
Xavi Simons nearly sent... Ake's come onto the pitch, by the way. Haven't mentioned that. Ruben Diaz has come off. Should have mentioned that. Sorry, I missed that. So Nathan Ake is on the pitch. Ruben Diaz off. I wonder why. Jack Grealish has just been fouled. Do you reckon that's tactical? Or just a case of you've been shit, mate? And you're booked. You're on a yellow card and you could end up getting down to... we really need him, don't we? Actually, well, he'd be suspended for Red Star, so it wouldn't even be that big a miss, would it, really? Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Doku, Humphreys. Alvarez, yeah, I don't know. Rodri into Rico Lewis. 1-2. Oh, it's gone to Rodri. Back to Gvardiol down the left side. Tucks into his right foot. Oh, he tried to feed in Phil Foden in a tight little angle, but well read by Schlager. Ake's looking much more assured now. Already we saw Openda looking a bit uncertain before as Xavi Simons fed the ball sort of behind Openda, but Ake was just reading the game and he stepped in, won the ball. I love Ake. I think he's our best defender. I really do. I think we've already seen Ruben Diaz make big mistakes in the first half of this game. And we saw his performance against Chelsea as well. Rodri. He just nearly fell on the ball, Rodri. Is this his twin brother or something? Who's this guy playing? This isn't Rodri. Jack Grealish into the box, fed by Rico Lewis. He's turning. He's forced away from goal, though. Simicam working his magic there. Good defending there. Oh, they've won it back. Xavi Simons. Akanji steps in. Free kick. Akanji's losing his rag here. He's getting frustrated. I haven't seen Akanji complain at a referee before like that. He seems like quite a reserved guy, Akanji. He seems like super chill, doesn't he? Like in everything. But he lost his rag there with the referee. I haven't seen him like that before. Kyle Walker there. There's still some mistakes here, you know. Kyle Walker then just couldn't control the ball and it ends up flying up in the air with a bad touch and it ends up in the air. So that's the ball pumped up or not. I don't know. We need some Jurgen Klopp excuses now, don't we? Is the wind in the wrong direction today, or is the grass it's a bit funky looking, this grass? Taking the time now, a bit of time wasting from RB Leipzig. Getting booked, taking about 30 seconds to take a throw in here. Book him! Still not taking it, book him! Just as the referee was about to... He threw it straight at the cheeky bastard. Are you not a fan of Akanji, Jack? You wanted to break something after that first half, mate. Fuming. I'm a big fan of Akanji, mate. I really like Akanji. But not having his greatest game, to be honest. I think you can't underestimate the importance of our defence. You know, it's like if they play badly, we play badly. In every aspect. And when I say defence, I mean on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Distribution. Because we play out from the back. Everything comes through them. And if part of the supply line is broken... How's the whole supply line going to work? You know, so it starts from the back. Our supply line starts from the back. And if Ederson's having an off day, we have an off day. And the defence is next in line, then midfield, and then Haaland. And usually it all works symmetrically and fluidly and poetically. It works usually. Tonight it's just been totally disjointed. Who was it who was asking for Alvarez and Doku? Because you're getting your wish. They're both coming on. But they've got to take about 18 layers of clothes off first. So give it 10 minutes and we'll see Doku and Alvarez, who must be freezing to be wearing that amount of clothes. Rodri. No sign of even scoring yet, to be honest. Normally you think comeback, you get an early goal in the second half, don't you? 51 minutes in, not a sniff. Foden's brought down. Free kick. Got a dead leg there as well. Horrible dead legs are. So what do you make of Pep's comments about the atmosphere? I'm sure, like, it's more going to offend the people who were there, really, isn't it? But Bernardo Silva feeding Haaland. Poor touch again. Rodri brings it down, nice and composed. I sometimes agree with Pep as someone who's just stopped being a season ticket holder for 32 years. I can testify that there are days when it's very quiet at the Etihad. It's games like this. It's where it's dead. It's not dead against Liverpool, though. So it was odd to hear the atmosphere, in Pep's opinion, was quieter than normal. Foden tried a nutmeg then. Didn't work. Now RB Leipzig have got the ball. Well, they've had to go backwards, thankfully, but... Long ball. Ortega's. It's not the same as Main Road was. They need a singing section in one part of the stadium to generate noise. This tends to... At the Etihad, there's like 2 singing sections, and they're like either side of the away fans. And the... Oh, ball's gone over. Oh, Foden was nearly on it. A deflected ball from Gvardiol was deflected over the head of Grealish and into the path of Phil Foden, but he couldn't bring it under control. Here comes Doku and Alvarez. Must admit, I'm less inspired by Alvarez than I am Doku. I feel like Doku's going to explode into this game. I feel like he's going to come on and rip up this pitch and leave tyre marks behind. You know, you're going to tear it up, leave flames behind him. Come on, Jeremy. Kyle Walker coming off for Alvarez. And it was Jack Grealish for Doku. What's he doing here then? Taking Walker off. That's got to be resting for Spurs, hasn't it, really? Not ideal. 2-0 down and bringing off Walker, who's our only real anti-counter-attack sort of opportunity. Here's Foden's fed in. Haaland! He's buried it! Is he onside, though? He looked it. He looked it. Brilliant finish from Erling Haaland. Well fed by Phil Foden. 2-1. Plenty of time. Let's get back into this game. Come on. Come on, City. Need to have a look at this, though. Because was Erling Haaland onside? He's rarely off. Oh, he's miles onside. The Simakan's played him about 5 yards onside. And the players that Haaland was passing, he was close. But their right back, Simakan, was about 5 yards too deep. Terrible defending by him. And he's played Erling Haaland on, who tucks it away beautifully. Gets himself across the ball with his left foot. It was fed down the right-hand side of Haaland's body, but he ends up getting his body across that ball and onto his left foot, and he like pokes it with the side foot. Jeremy Doku's beating his left back. He's whipped it in. Oh, it's cleared. It was nearly instant impact from Jeremy Doku. Rodri. Nice footwork from Rodri into Doku's path. We're purring a little bit now. We're purring. Gvardiol. Nice little turn. Dinks it. No one's in there. Haaland was expecting a deeper cross there from Gvardiol, but good footwork from City there from both Gvardiol and Rodri. One, two, Foden and Doku. Doku, oh, he nearly beat Luke. Oh, Simakan, sorry. And it is a corner. Alvarez's corners has been a real hot spot for me lately. It's been pissing me off how many corners are wasted. Or just not amounting to anything. Never getting into a dangerous area. Short corners are our best bet. Takes it short. Foden's cross was a bit weak there on his side foot across the floor. Doku down the left-hand side. It's all Doku again. Twisting, turning. Right foot. Cleared. So Doku's on the left-hand side where Jack Grealish was. And he's already seen so much of the ball. So much of it. And it's good. Rodri's pass has been intercepted once again, and he's doing that thing again where he's gesturing, he's blaming Bernardo Silva. That was shit, Rodri. Honestly, mate, that's the 50-yard ball that you know, it was so predictable. And I don't. Now he's getting his hands around Xavi Simons, and Luis Openda's in. All from Rodri's pass, and he's crossed the ball. Oh, it's deflected out for a corner. Haaland getting back. Haaland getting back there and blocking the cross. Well done, Erling Haaland. I don't think I've ever seen him get that deep, but he gets back brilliantly there. Well done, Erling Haaland. Look at that. Look at him. Look at that. That's good. That's good. He didn't do anything, but it's just the intent. I loved it. That's what I like to see. Rodri, sort it out, mate. This is an absolute mare he's having. And I would never have had a go at him if he didn't do that to Bernardo Silva, just gesturing that it's his fault. It was a shit ball. There was no way he was going to get on the end of that. Corner to RB Leipzig. Bernardo Silva pressing. Rico pressing. Cross comes in. Rodri, big header, cleared. Well done, Rodri. Xavi Simons with a volley and balloons it into row. Probably X, not quite Z. X. I used to sit on row X in the... so I might have caught that if I was there. Mustafa, come to Bosnia and watch FC Sarajevo play. I'm part of the Ultras. The whole stadium sings for the full 90 minutes. I'll do a watch-along there, mate. That'd be good. Ego. Yes, Haaland is fed up. He looked angry then, didn't he? Getting back. He looked annoyed. I've just scored a goal, guys. Do you know what I mean? We're back in the game. Can you sort your fucking heads out? Keep feeding me the ball. 65% possession to City, 429 passes to their 189. Similar statistics to what we normally see from Manchester City versus pretty much anybody. And just goes to show the stats that are as basic as that don't tell the whole story. RB Leipzig bringing on some subs. Openda's coming off. I mean, what a night for him. 2 goals at the Etihad. Unbelievable. I've had a bag of squashies staring at me this whole game. I'm going to have one, I apologise. Totally unprofessional. But we're losing. So I need a squashy. Sesko coming on for Luis Openda. And Forsberg's come off for Baumgartner. Down the line, Sesko's already getting involved. Baumgartner's chasing it, linking up. The 2 subs already getting involved. Ortega comes out and collects it, though. Rolls it out quickly to Gvardiol. Gvardiol now bringing it down the left wing. Turns back to Ake. I think we need to up the tempo again. We've slowed it down a bit. There was a little bit of speed in our game for that 5 minutes after scoring. Getting Doku involved. Slowed it down, but fires it down a channel to Alvarez to chase. Alvarez is pressured. He's going to get the corner, though. Does well there. Klosterman does well to get across. Alvarez knocks it out for a corner. Alvarez with Doku offering a short one. Is he going to whip it in and finally put one on the money for Manchester City? He whips it in and it's cleared at the near post. Xavi Simons bringing it away on the counter-attack. 1-on-1 now with Rico Lewis. Where's our defence? Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden and Rico Lewis are in defence right now. They've all got back. Rodri's come back. Has he won? No, he's given a free kick away. He's going to get a yellow there probably as well. No, he's got away with that. Referee's been kind there. You're eating Reese's Cup for the first time in your life. What do you reckon, Mustafa? We were talking about American food the other day. They're my least favourite Reese's things. Reese's Pieces are my favourite things. They're like Smarties, but with like peanut butter inside. And Reese's cereal. I've had Reese's cereal recently, which is good. It's shite, says my stuff. Ball over the top to Haaland to chase, but he's not going to get on the end of that. Blasvich comes out. I like it. Mustafa is shite. Rico Lewis, brilliant. Bursting past his man. He's got Bernardo Silva on the overlap. Bernardo Silva. Oh, what defending that is from Luke Haber. Really good. Xavi Simons is just dancing around Rodri all game. He's made him look amateur, man. He really has. Xavi Simons is really shining light in this game. He's been brilliant, Xavi Simons. There was a regular, I said it in the first half, that always went on about City should sign Xavi Simons and how good a player he is. And I agreed with him as he's a good player, but I mean, I'm really seeing him shine tonight. It looks really good. It's when it's on the big stage, that's when you get tested. You know, it's all good and well doing it in the Bundesliga against those type of oppositions, but Champions League nights, isn't it? That's when you really shine. It's what put Haaland on the map, wasn't it? How ferocious he was in the Champions League. Obviously, all the goals at Dortmund as well followed, but he put his name on the map. Foden fed in by Ake. Alvarez getting involved. Alvarez, his touch was a little. He wasn't ready for it. Haaland closing down his man. He's going to use some strength here. Luke Haber, and it's gone out for a City throw-in. 63 minutes in. Hey, Eric Welch in the chat. I was talking about you earlier, mate. We're talking about not all Arsenal fans are knobs. I said all of them are knobs except Eric Welch. That's what I said in the chat. But I hope you're all right, mate. I hope you're good. You've come to watch City lose, have you? Well, piss off. Yeah, we're not going to lose this, mate. We're going to win. We're going to turn it round. We are all knobs. I'm one too, says Eric. Love it, mate. Foden. Closed down. Rodri knocking it back to Ake. Kanji. Oh, good spot that. Fed it through a nice tidy little pass that right through a very thin avenue to Alvarez, but Alvarez had to come back. Had no options once he'd found that pocket. Ake now with the ball. Gvardiol. And it's one of them, so annoying, so frustrating. That's just a little, that sums up our night, that. Just a little moment, miscommunication. You know that moment when you look up, the player's there. The second you look down with the ball at your feet, the players decided to make that run, and then you pass it and you look up and they fucked off down that way, and you both look like idiots. That just happened between Doku and Gvardiol. It's just one of them things. It happens all the time, but sums up our night. Jeff with the super chat too. Appreciate that, mate. I want a freaking Rico Lewis goal. He deserves one, mate. Rico's been our best player tonight. Hasn't been that many glamorous performances from any of them, to be honest. Rico's hardly been, he's not like pulling a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 performance. He's just been decent. He's kept his standards at his standards while everyone else has dropped theirs. Rodri, mate, for fuck's sake. Last man then, just passing it straight into Forsberg, and he stood 10 yards in front of him. Look, it ricochets right off his shin, and Rodri has to go and collect the ball back. He's having one of the worst games I've ever seen of Rodri. Unbelievable performance. Good ball from Akanji into Haaland. Haaland, it's a poor ball from Haaland trying to find Alvarez, who'd sort of roles reversed there. Normally you see Alvarez behind Haaland feeding him. It was the other way around. Haaland trying to find Alvarez, but the pass was a little bit off. Gvardiol trying to nod it back, and Simicans intercepted it, and away comes RB Leipzig now, switching it quickly to Xavi Simons. Rico Lewis getting back. Xavi Simons has kept the ball in, and Rico collects it really well there. Good. He has section 20. He's ugly is very true. Not in his face. He's a very handsome man. But his performance has been grim. Really grim from Rodri. And I mean, how many times are we going to say that? No, we haven't said that for a long time, and I don't intend to say it in the near future. But that was good from Rodri. Good bit of football there, bursting through the lines. Doku getting inside as well, twisting his man. He's kept it in brilliantly, Jeremy. Absolutely fantastic. Strength and footwork. So good from Doku, that was. Keeping the ball there. Simakan was on him as well, you know. That was good defending. Both players doing well there. But the fact that Doku comes out with the ball there was brilliant. Akanji. City closing now. It's a free kick, referee. Akanji's been brought down there. Forsberg clipped the ankles of Akanji. Or was it Xavi Simons? Yeah, I am, Eric. PSG getting knocked out, are they? I haven't got any scores on the go. I've got loads of monitors that I could find that out. I haven't left all the other scores going. You take a draw, Cortez. I mean, I probably would right now. To be honest, it feels like a really bad day at the office for the full team. Put Edison in for Rodri, says James. Who have we actually got? Who could we actually use? Still 1-0 to the tune. Free kick to City. Alvarez whips it in. Ake! Oh, it's past the post. It wasn't even close, to be honest. But Alvarez with a nice little ball in there. Ake sort of had to get back a little bit. Had to slow his run down a little bit. Yeah, he's never getting on the end of that because his run had taken him past the flight of the ball and it was going behind his head. So he had to pull his head back and he was never going to get it on target from there. Yeah, that's it. I was going to check who we've got on the bench. Because, I mean, we've brought on Alvarez and Doku. It's only really Oscar Bob. You could try Stones for the last 15 minutes. Give him some match fitness. Get him ready for Spurs. Take Rodri off. Put Stones on. Risky. I'd rather not play Stones at all. And just make sure he's fit. Because Pep didn't sound too confident about his fitness. I also think we're putting a lot of pressure on De Bruyne's return as well, you know. I think we're looking at De Bruyne as our saviour. I think we need to be mindful of how big an injury it was. It was a serious injury. So I think De Bruyne is going to take 3 or 4 games to get back to full speed. You know, we can't expect him to just go wham, first team player, immediately, goal and an assist. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to take him a bit of time to get used to things again and find his feet. Use the cup games. Use the FA Cup. Foden's been fed. Foden. Oh, brilliant from Phil Foden. Brilliant from Phil Foden. What a finish. 2-2. 2-2. Back in the game again. You take it. Lovely ball into Phil Foden. Gets the under control. Beats his man. And he just guides it. He passes it. He passes it. Just a real snapshot. No backlift in his shot whatsoever. And he just pops it into that bottom right hand corner. 2-2. 20 minutes to go. Well done, Phil Foden. Really good. Who feeds him? Gvardiol. Good awareness from Gvardiol. Hard pass into him. Foden, first touch. Brilliant. Beats Simakan with a nice turn. Beautiful. We're in trouble at that point. Klosterman. Foden pops it through Klosterman's legs into the bottom right-hand corner. 2-2. Told you we'd turn it round. Smug. Feeling smug. Better not fucking lose it now. In fact, we need to win it. That's what I want to do. "5-2, here we come." James being a little bit more reserved with 3-2. I'll take 3-2. Sub 2's had a few beers again. Get the beer emojis out, Sub 2. Alvarez. Oh, he's fed into him and he's giving it away. He's lost the ball. Xavi Simons bursting forward again. Akanji, no, what's he done there? He's committed to the man and not the ball. RB Leipzig are on the edge of the area. Shot. Oh, Tega had to punch it out for a corner. Jesus Christ, Akanji. He saw Xavi Simons. He's clattered Xavi Simons there. Simons burst through with a bit of speed. Akanji didn't want to get the ball then. He was focused on the man. And he left the ball, and he's fucking elbowed him. Akanji's just clattered him there. And then he's lost the ball to Sesko, who's too busy about taking out Xavi Simons. The ball runs past him. Sesko steps in and takes it away from Akanji. Gets his shot away and forces Ortega to give a corner away. It was Roy. It was a really good pass from Gvardiol. But Xavi Simons is seriously injured here. Stayed down. Hot hits wants his flowers. Fair play, mate. Did you predict 2-2? You did, didn't you? You did. And inside, I laughed at you. But right now, you're on. You're on for the prediction, mate. People in the chat from the stream you're watching are arguing that City are smaller than Fulham. There are your knobs, Johnny. Yep, they are knobs. Poulsen's coming on. Threat. Carvalho's coming on. Threat. Fabio Carvalho, those will remember him from the Premier League. Former Liverpool. Pretty sure, speaking of Fulham, pretty sure he went to Fulham on loan, didn't he, Carvalho? But taking out Xavi Simons is probably Akanji's best piece of work this game, because he's really injured here, and he's by far and away their best player. He's been ripping us to shreds on the counter-attack. Every time he's got the ball, we've looked in trouble. And Akanji wiping him out. Terrible defending. Completely missed the ball. Elbowed him in like the neck, accidentally, to be honest, from Akanji. But he clattered him. And it's worked out all right, because he looks injured. But he's on his feet now, actually, so he might be okay. But Carvalho and Poulsen coming on. Maybe Xavi Simons is one of them going off. But if Xavi Simons stays on, this game ain't done. As long as he's on the pitch, this game is not done. Haidara coming off, Carvalho on. That's kind of who I was hoping was coming on for Simons, but Simons going to stay on, isn't he? He looks like he's in tears. Yeah, he's really hurt. He's not staying on here. He looks like he's in bits. Xavi Simons is in bits. Fucking hell, he's crying his heart out there. Poor lad. And he's coming off for Poulsen. Appreciate that, Jan. Yeah, if you could, pop a like on the stream. If you haven't already, it'd be hugely appreciated. Thank you very much. Subscribe as well if you're new. Ball whipped in. Ortega collects it. Ake bringing it forward. Rodri. That's it. The passes are faster now. Fast passes. Gvardiol into Alvarez, edge of the area. He's got to have a better touch, Alvarez, but he's kept it. He's kept it. Doku on his right foot. He's got two men to beat now. Doku goes inside, puts a man on the floor, tries a nutmeg, and he gives it away. Got to credit his attitude, man. The way he can just put people on their arse in a second. You know what I mean? And a lot of the time it's with strength. It's not always skill. They try and lean on him, and he just gives it back, and they end up on their arse. For a small guy, he's fucking strong, isn't he, Doku? Klosterman. Long ball over the top. Carvalho nods it to Poulsen. We're in trouble here. Carvalho straight onto the pitch and he's tucked it into the bottom left-hand corner. It's 3-2. Flag's gone up. Thank fuck for that. Former Scouser putting it in the back of the net. We need to see this, though. Is it actually offside? We have to see VAR. Unbelievable play from Carvalho. Yeah, he's offside. Yeah, don't even need the lines for that one. But he nods it back there. Long ball over the top to Carvalho, who's run. He runs past it and does one of those arse passes where he knows it's going to land on like the bottom of his back or the top of his arse. And he puts it into the path. I keep doing it like I'm twerking on fucking stream for you. But he puts it into the path of Poulsen, who gives it back to Carvalho, tucks it into the bottom right-hand corner, but Carvalho's initial run was offside. Warning shots fired. Pretty potent warning as well from RB Leipzig. They are still in this. This is not a City turnaround by any stretch of the imagination. We're still sloppy. It's still very cagey football. You know, we've managed to get 2 goals out of sort of nothing, really. It came out of nothing. It wasn't like we were battering, not peppered their goal with chances. But here's Alvarez. Oh, he's tried to... Little dinky ball over the top to Alvarez, who tries to cross the ball on the volley. First time, difficult enough. I think he's probably having a shot, if anything. Scuffs it into the hands of Blasvic. Alvarez hasn't been very impactful, to be honest. Anything that's come his way, he seems to have struggled to just get it under control. Do you think we need to go back to putting him up front? Because the start of his season was immense. Alvarez this season was brilliant those first 7 games. Assists. He was like number 1 in like the first 7 games for chance creation in the Premier League. So it's not like we were lacking creativity because of him, because he was our number 1 creator and he was brilliant. But what's happened to him in the last 4 or 5 games? It looks like he's struggling to find space. Not really linking up with Haaland that much. Doku, down the left-hand side. Wasn't there an offside goal in the Champions League? Who was it against? I can't remember now. Link-up play between Alvarez and Haaland. It ended up being offside, but it was an unbelievable link-up play between those two. About 3 or 4 weeks ago. Can't remember who it was. Doku winner loading, says Hot Sits. Maybe, mate. I mean, he's come on and he's been a bright spark for us. It was almost an inevitability that Doku would be the bright spark, you know, knowing what he's capable of. Losing situations is such a good tool, isn't it, to have Doku coming off the bench. Knackered fullbacks, tired fullbacks who are feeling the pain in their muscles already. And then seeing a wide-eyed Jeremy Doku who just wants to dribble all day long. You know, I think that's great bit of business. What a tool we've got as a sub. But starting him, don't have a problem with that either at the minute, because I think he's our in-form player. Nice one. Let's go. Appreciate that, mate. Great stream watching from Tenerife. Come on, City. Appreciate that, mate. Mustafa's eating a huge burrito with a ton of sriracha before a match tonight. I'm a goalkeeper, but it helps me keep a clean sheet. Not sure how it does. Unless your fingers are still sticky from the burrito, maybe, and the ball sticks to your hands a little bit better. But I presume you're wearing gloves, unless you're eating your burrito wearing goalkeeping gloves. Might happen. You might be into that sort of thing. I know 6-year-olds, like my lads' friends, they all walk around with goalkeeping gloves on, like just to keep them warm. They have to be goalkeeping gloves, though. Rico Lewis linking up, getting involved with the distribution out from the back, but RB Leipzig are camped in their own half now. 80th minute just ticks over. And no real sign of getting a third since we've scored our second. I'm not sure there was any signs of getting our second when we got our second, to be honest. So expect something out of the blue. The Manchester blue, hopefully. Ortega feeds it down the middle to Rico Lewis. RB Leipzig have pressed. Bit of space now. Finds Doku. Good ball from Rodri. He's on his own, Doku, though. Beats his first man easily. Simakan beats him as well. Gets it left foot cross clot. And it's good defending from Simakan. Blocks it. Corner ball. Alvarez coming over to take it. Come on, we need this top spot. Get back to winning ways. Short one. Doku. Back to Alvarez. Dinks it. It's coming straight to Blasvic. Easy, easy to deal with. Straight down his throat. RB Leipzig coming forward. Poulsen's knocked it down. Rodri does well there, getting back. City look tired, you know. They look knackered. Rico Lewis is running everywhere. As someone who's not played that many minutes lately, he's running everywhere. I think Foden's been alright tonight as well. I thought he was really poor against Liverpool. I thought, forgetting the goal as well, I'm not just talking about the fact that he scored. He's actually played alright, Foden. Like, everything he's done has been good enough. Do you know what I mean? He's been surrounded by players who've been sloppy. Rico Lewis now. Akanji. Rodri. Gvardiol, City pushing forward now, putting the squeeze on RB Leipzig. Oh, poor ball from Gvardiol, but Doku just gets a foot to it and keeps it in. 2 men on Doku there. Still, the ball's up in the air. He's trying to win it back, Jeremy Doku, doing his best. Fair play, Jeremy Doku. Ake bringing it down. Cool as you like from Nathan Ake. Gvardiol with a right foot dink all the way back to Manuel Akanji. Yeah, I think you're right, Jan. Long ball to Doku, but nodded away. I'm not sure. Let's go. In January, I watched Paquetá the other night and he was poor, you know. I'm a big fan. People have seen me talk about Paquetá in quite a lot of positive energy with Lucas Paquetá. I watched him the other night and he was poor. Rodri's ball has just been intercepted. How many times has Rodri got to give that ball away there? That ball that he just looks up and goes, I'm passing it, guys. I'm about to pass it. And then passes it. And by then the fullback's saying, oh, you're passing it? Okay, I'll go and stand there and wait for you to pass it to me. Fucking, it's so easy to defend. One of the worst performances I've ever seen from Rodri. This is absolute shocker. He'll know it. It's not like this is something to worry. I feel like I don't think we need to look at Rodri and go, oh my God, that's it now. He's in bad form. He's just had a terrible game. Be interesting to see how he plays against Spurs. It's been going on around him today. Poulsen's bringing it around. Foden gets back. Brilliant from Phil Foden. Now Doku comes forward. Gvardiol steps in. Referee's trying his best to play on. Into Rico Lewis. Doku was fouled there. But brilliant from Phil Foden getting back and intercepting, getting in front, using his body, which isn't Phil Foden's biggest strength, to be honest, because he's not the strongest guy in the world, is he? But Poulsen is a big guy as well. Gets in front of Poulsen, wins the ball back. City now have the ball. Dangerous. A lovely ball from Ake through the channel. Doku still got 2 men to beat, though. He beats his first man, then gets clattered. Well, he doesn't get clattered. I thought it looked like he was about to get clattered. Simakan went flying in to try and clatter Doku, but it was like hitting a fucking brick wall. And that wall is called Jeremy Doku, and now Simakan is on the floor holding his ankle. He flew in to try and hurt him, and Doku just went fuck off like that and just absolutely body checked him, just bodied him. Simakan sitting on his arse. Doku just looked down at him like, what are you doing, mate? Brilliant from Jeremy Doku. Alvarez on the corner. Make it a good one, Julian. Make it a good one. Short one. Gone long with the short one, if that makes sense. To Phil Foden. Haaland and then, oh, straight down the throat of Blasvich again. Haaland getting on the end of it. Good header, but straight into the hands of Blasvich. Yeah, Adney, I'm starting to think it might be Oscar Bob time. Not sure for who, though. Bernardo Silva, maybe? I think that's the only option, really, isn't it? We can't just go for it and like get Rodri off and Bob on, because we will have no midfield without Rodri right now. He's the only one in the middle. I say that, he's chilling at right back right now, Rodri. Trying to draw them out of position, I think. Big pocket of space of Alvarez is in the middle, but he's surrounded by a radius of RB Leipzig players, so they're not going through the middle, City. We're going to have to go round the outside. And here we are, just the man for the job. Jeremy Doku going round the outside. Round the outside. Rico Lewis has fed Doku round the outside. Cuts it inside to Phil Foden. What a touch from Phil Foden. Cuts it in. Alvarez has got to put it in the net, and he does! We complete the comeback! 86th minute in. Brilliant Brilliant. Alvarez, edge of the 6-yard box, smashes it into the bottom corner. Rico Lewis feeding that ball through to Jeremy Doku first. Brilliant from Jeremy Doku. Cuts it inside to Alvarez. Alvarez has the time to get it into Phil Foden. Phil Foden then turns and cuts it inside to Alvarez. Brilliant. Brilliant goal. 3-2. Comeback completed. You called it hot hits. Oh, you nearly called it, mate. There's a sadistic part of you that was hoping it would remain 2-2. What are we saying? Who scored? City scored. Of course they did. Oh, they were looking at an offside there. Doku tucks it inside. That touch from Phil Foden's fucking great. What a touch that was. And you know what? Them City players go wild with that celebration. Yeah, the City players went mental then. Like, that was just pure frustration coming out. It's exactly the feeling we need. Rico Lewis going like that, everyone jumping up, big celebrations, because we're top, we're through. Forget the top bit. The fact that we were through gives you a reason to think, take it a bit lightheartedly maybe, or like take that 1% off the gas in a game like this, knowing you've got Spurs coming up. But they didn't look like that. Those players' faces when that went in, then they went mental. They were loving it. Doku's going to make it 4 in a minute here. Phil Foden's been cut back. Rodri. Good to see Rodri get a goal, wouldn't it? I would say he deserves one, but he doesn't. Akanji. Ake. Yeah, you did, Mustafa, didn't you? I'm pretty sure you did. Absolutely, JRX. 100%. Glad we still have that comeback match-winning ability. 100%. Do you know what I mean? Like, Eric, who's in the chat, Arsenal fan, will probably hear this as well. But, you know, when they beat Sheffield... who was it they beat 1-0? Was it Sheffield United? Who the fuck did they just beat? Arsenal. That last Havertz header. I remember the goal. Having a brain fart. Brentford. I knew it was a red and white team. I knew it was red and white. Yeah. What they described, I thought that was really flat performance from Arsenal. I don't think they looked that good. I thought Brentford looked okay. I thought it was a fairly even game, I thought. Like, Arsenal probably edged it a little bit, but there wasn't anything clear-cut from Arsenal that stood out to me against Brentford that I thought, you know what, they look like proper quality players and like they're all working together brilliantly. I thought I saw a lot of average performances from Arsenal. And then when they got that winner, that's what champions do. That's what champions do. Well, this is what champions do as well. This is really what champions do. Having one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time, to be honest, from a lot of City players, and to still win the game. Well, I say that, we've not won it yet, but to still win the game is huge. Gamification, mate. I've been talking, I said, and it's you, wasn't it, who goes on about Simons. I don't know, I've mentioned, I couldn't remember who it was, but now your name's appeared. I remember you being the one who is a big fan of Xavi Simons. I'm a big fan as well, I really like the guy. But tonight, mate, he's been brilliant. He's been really good. Gvardiol now. Into Foden, who's come short for it. Good. You don't need to go for the fourth. Let's just win the game. Alvarez, get it under control. 6 minutes of added time. Foden. Doku. Inside to Foden. Down the line to Doku. Brilliant from those two players. Doku twisting and turning. They're terrified of him. The speed in which his body moves, it's like he's a glitch, isn't it? Like his body is like glitches ahead of you. It's immense the way he moves. Big up Foden, says Douglas Wright. I 100% agree, Tuna. Bringing Ake on made City more solid. It really... Oh, Rodri. Just fucking hell, Rodri. I don't know what is going on. I'm absolutely bemused by Rodri tonight. Then he just gave the ball away. A 5-yard pass to Haaland. And I'm absolutely baffled by what I've seen from Rodri tonight. Have you ever heard of the definition of mare? Look up mare in the dictionary right now, and there'll be a sneaky little picture of Rodri. Honestly, you're absolutely right, Ryan. Keeping the ball now, that's it. All we need to do. It was that bad a performance from Rodri that I think it would be, if I was a journalist, I'd question Pep. Like, I'd be poking Pep. I'd be saying, Pep, what happened with Rodri today? Because that didn't look right at all. Ball fed right down the middle of the pitch from Ortega to Haaland, and it went that far, Haaland was offside. Sergio Gomez coming onto the pitch. Who for? Gvardiol. He was on crutches about 3 weeks ago, wasn't he? Gomez. Oh, I don't feel like we deserve to win. It's same shit. I don't feel like we deserve to win this game. I don't think we've obviously done enough to win, because I don't think RB Leipzig have been that good. We gifted every opportunity to them, and almost as a lessons will be learnt type attitude, and like as a self-loathing sort of. You deserve to be punished. You deserve to be punished for performances like this. And to come away with a win is fantastic. Great news. Obviously, I'm happy. But I'm sure the players will have enough self-awareness to be like, we got away with that. Do you know what I mean? Not be like, hey, we won that. That's what we do. And we played like shit in the first half, but we won. Who cares? Nah, you've played terrible for the full 90 minutes, really. In particular, that first half. But there's been so many poor performances in this whole game, from start to finish. So we can't ignore that. We can't pretend that's not happened. There's a reason we're celebrating coming back from a 2-0 deficit. We went 2-0 down because we were giving it away so easily. So it's hardly been convincing, but still a win. Doku's he's been brilliant since he's come on. He's caused so much problems. I don't think it's a coincidence that he comes on and we score more goals. I don't think it's been a coincidence. He's been a pest. Brilliant ball from Sergio Gomez, feeding Rico Lewis into Alvarez. Alvarez, mate, he scored a goal, but honestly, touch was so shit from Rico Lewis. Brilliant, found a pocket of space. Alvarez now, nice from Alvarez. That was finally good bit of play to Bernardo Silva. Alvarez, brilliant from Alvarez. He's in. Oh, really good from Julian Alvarez. That was after a first touch a minute ago. That was an absolute shocker. Then followed it up with a mazy run, working his way into the Leipzig area. Brilliant from Alvarez. That was really good. Tried the 1-2 with Rico Lewis, but Klosterman gets back. Rico Lewis. Alvarez on the edge of the area onto his left foot. It's going to be Sergio Gomez who smashes it over the bar. You're absolutely right, Section 20. To be fair, champions win games, even when they play poorly. They do indeed. I just wanted it to be a convincing win. I mean, we've won the game, but played so much worse than we did against Chelsea and so much worse than we did against Liverpool. I thought those two performances against Chelsea and Liverpool weren't that bad. Defensively shocking against Chelsea. Brilliant going forward. RB Leipzig are not done here. They've got a cross into the box, which had to be cleared by Nathan Ake. Cheers for joining, Ryan. Appreciate that, mate. RB Leipzig, last chance here. Carvalho, seconds remain. Pushes it out to Raum. Left foot cross, blocked by Bernardo Silva. It's a corner. Oh, God. You might be right, Hot Hits. You might be right. Corner coming in. Headed. Foden gets underneath it, but he's not cleared it. What is he done with that? It's gone flying away. Doku's going to bring... Oh, Doku couldn't bring it under control. Throw into RB Leipzig. Danger has not gone yet. And it has, because the final whistle goes... Didn't enjoy that. I did not enjoy that. I enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed the chat. I didn't enjoy watching that performance. I'm going to be honest. I thought that was very, very unlike us, you know. In particular, Rodri. I don't want it to be a hate fest on Rodri. But, I mean, his performance stood out like a sore thumb. It really was a shocker. Real shocker from Rodri, that was. Blues, thank you very much to you guys in the chat. As always, really, really appreciate you all tuning in to Typical City. If you haven't already dropped a like on the stream, please do. It would be hugely, hugely appreciated. Really does help more than you know. It really is big for the channel. Little things like that. If you could, thank you very much. Try and get my match reaction out as soon as I can. And then player ratings. I might be a bit late with my player ratings tomorrow. Because I've got to look after a 6-month-old little girl that's mine. They made it sound like it wasn't mine. It's my baby. I've not just got a random baby to look after. No, it's my baby. And I've got to do that in the morning, so I might be a bit late with the player ratings. But join me when I do drop it. And thanks again for joining me in this one, and I'll see you in the next one.